a little bit of a controversy. I think it's more of a controversy because there's really not much to talk about, but we're going to talk about it. Ohio State and Texas game time controversy. So Ohio State, I guess Big Ten Fox announced the kickoff. They didn't announce the time like a week or 2 weeks ago. Obviously, we knew it was the first week of the season, and as announced, Fox was going to, or as expected, Fox was going to take it, and that usually means big noon kickoff. Now, the kicker is here. We don't know the time yet. Is it going to be big noon kickoff? 90% sure it is. And we've heard reports. Ohio State has tried to move this game to Sunday. You see Ohio State fans complaining, like, why doesn't Texas move it? So, Gerald, I want to know your opinion. Do you think Texas should be willing to move the game to Sunday? Why or why not?
No, it is. You ask any coach, any competitor, like, do I want to give my opponent a competitive advantage? And the answer is no. Like, and say whatever you want about me. Like, there are two kinds of people in this world, the kind of people that are nice and the kind of people that like to win, and I like to win. Like, I'm not in the business of getting people, especially like a competitive advantage, like whatever. It is what it is. You are part of the Big Ten. The Big Ten signed the deal with Fox for the big noon Saturday. Like, they've got legislators that are trying to like legislate this thing being illegal. Like, that is some baby Charmin soft stuff that's on the heels of the flag planting should be a felony thing. Like, get out of your feelings and win some football games, right? Like, but ultimately, like, giving them the advantage of moving it a day, moving it at night. Plus, that would give Texas a short week going into week 2. Sark has often and always prioritized player health and safety. And so putting kids have an extra day, one fewer day in that cycle to get them ready, even if it is one of the lower tier schools on Texas's schedule, the simple fact of the matter is that you cannot put your kids on a short schedule, period, end of sentence. They're going to play. Texas plans on playing a crap ton of football this year, and one extra week of wear and tear on a short week is not good for the health and safety of players. It's not something that you hear NFL players talk about all the time, how much they hate the Thursday night game after a Sunday, right? It's awful on their bodies. It's awful for recovery time. It messes up your whole routine. And so when push comes to shove, that's the bigger reason in my mind. Like, yes, like, moving it to Sunday night, like, it's college football meant to be played on a Saturday, not anything that should be done. Again, it's a Saturday game. Big Noon Saturday is part of the money deal that you all made to be one of the highest paid conferences in the country, right, for these TV rights. It is what it is. Like, you made the bed, you got to lie in it. And ultimately, like, for Texas, there is zero advantage for moving this game to a Sunday night. There's zero advantage for Texas. And again, there are two people in the world when it comes to college football: those that like to win and those that want to do favors to their opponents. And I'm in the first category.
Yeah, I'm not for moving it a day. That's the thing too. People knew this would fire up Ohio State fans and college football fans in general that were neutral on this situation by putting out Texas refused to move the game because they thought, okay, moving the time. And I kind of agree. Like, if they said, hey, we can play at 8, are you down with that?
Yeah,
I'd have been fine with that. But they said, no, we're going to play at 8 o'clock another day. So you're costing you 36 hours on this. And it's not even just the players, like fans too. Fans have planned this out. Fans have said, hey, I got a
year in advance.
Exactly. I have a hotel room this day, and then you're going to have them cancel it or extend it now, so you're making them paying double on their travel bookings. I totally disagree with that. And then, like you said, I think people think, okay, we have a cupcake the next week. Okay, I agree with that. But the thing is, you're coming off a super physical game of week 1, so then you have to go play on a short week in week 2. And we've seen players get hurt on cupcakes. That really doesn't matter. It's more of we're coming off a super physical game week 1. That's their first football. They're really going to be hitting other people. And then you're going to ask them to turn around and play 5.5 days later. I disagree with that. That's why I'm totally against it.
And the recovery time following that game is shortened because of the short week, right? It throws everything into upheaval. And if there's one thing, if you know anything about athletes, it is all about routine. It is all about rhythm. And upsetting that routine and upsetting that rhythm does nothing but cause problems. So ultimately, like, and I love that you mentioned the fans, right? Texas fans have been planning this for a year, right? At least a year, right? As soon as this went on the schedule, people, as soon as they could, were booking tickets and booking hotels, right? Like, there is so much tied up in this for Texas fans that are able to travel and able to go. Again, there are 1,001 reasons that it completely does not make sense for Texas to move this game, right? There's the short week coming out. There's the competitive advantage. There's all of the things, right? But ultimately, like, there are for Texas, it doesn't make sense. Sark talks about his routines. He talks about taking care of players' health. There's part of the reason why they sold fans on changing the routine for the spring game was taking care of players' bodies, right? It is a long football season, and putting yourself on a truncated recovery time coming out of what's going to be a hard physical game on that first week. Like, there's no way that Texas would be down for that, right? These players need the time to recover. They need that buffer zone to get their bodies back, right? And again, you talk about cupcakes, it's still football. It is still a car crash every 90 seconds. Like, regardless of the level, it is still 250-pound people running into each other at full speed, regardless of if it's UTSA or Alabama, right? It does not. There's a competition level difference, but it's still two big freaking humans running into each other with essentially like memory foam between them, right? Like, you need the recovery time.
Well, and Quinn Ewers got hurt originally in the Michigan game, but then officially tore, his lat in the game after, and that was versus a cupcake opponent. So that's the thing. Like, that to me doesn't matter. It actually, if this was like, let's say the third week of the season, it actually make more sense because your body is going to start to get used to the punishment. We're going to ask these guys to, first game, you're going against one of the 5 best teams in the country, get knocked around, and then have a short week and play the next week. That doesn't make any sense to me. And yeah, I hate Big Noon too. So I live like hour and 25 minutes from Columbus. I want to go to the game, but Big Noon, hour and 25 minutes, it's going to be 2 hours to the game and then 2 hours back because of the traffic and everything. I'm probably going to have to get up at like 7:38 in the morning just to get there. So I don't love it. I may not even go because of that. I'm going to be honest. It sucks. I agree with you, but you also signed the deal. Like you said, Gerald, this was the highest media rights deal in the history of college athletics, period. That's what it was, because they signed it after the SEC, so they made more money. It will flip-flop now whoever comes up first, but you can't just, sign that and then also get to determine when your games are, because guess what? You signed those rights away as soon as you took that money, so I don't feel bad for you.
And I get it, like 11 a.m. kickoff and 10 noon kickoffs, depending whatever time zone, they suck. Like, there's no two ways. As a fan, like, I do not love I'm a 2:30 kickoff guy myself. That's the perfect time. I'm not the one that loves the early kickoffs, but it's part of the media deal. It's part of the game. It's part of the deal. Like, it is the bed that you have made. It's the part of the deal. Like, you're going to have to lie with it. And guess what? It's probably going to be the same thing when the comeback game happens too, unless Fox is able to grab it. Then we'll get them, or I guess unless ESPN grabs it for a primetime spot. But ultimately, like, it is a non-starter. And the framing around the conversation was Texas refuses to play later. It's like, no, Texas doesn't refuse to play later. Texas is not playing on a different day, right? That is the thing. I guarantee you, if it was a difference between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m., I would feel much different about it. But moving the game from a Saturday to a Sunday for like I said, a dozen reasons is a non-starter for me.
Yeah, I completely agree. Jackson says, personally, I don't care what time network Ohio State has played, and I just want, or Texas Ohio State has played, just watch the game no matter what, even if it means I have to watch Alabama on my laptop and the Texas game on TV. I think most college football fans feel that way, like they're going to watch the best game. And for example, if you did move that game later in the day, you would have to compete versus Clemson LSU, which that's a really good game. And then if you move to the next day, I think honestly this game probably gets more viewership because of the teams. Notre Dame and Miami play that night on Sunday. So honestly, if you move it Saturday, you could probably get away with a 3:30, even 7:30, because I think that's a bigger game than Clemson and LSU. I honestly, with the Notre Dame fan base and Miami fan base, I don't know if it's going to draw, if it would draw the same.
That's tough sledding. Those are two that draw. Notre Dame draws a lot of non-college football fans, and Miami's still a brand. I don't know why they're still a brand, but they're still a brand. So ultimately, yeah, it's going to be a tough draw.
100%. So that does it for that segment. We really appreciate you guys being here. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below.